It is a beautiful day here on Campus Field, and the Sacred Heart football team is wrapping up practice, and that leads us to another episode of Inside the Huddle with head coach Mark Nofri. I'm Molly Jacob. The Pioneers played Wagner here this past Saturday, but fell short 17-10, and you had some prime performers, Tyreek Brown and Malik Grant. What could you say about their performances?
Well, this was Tyreek's first game back. I know he sat the first two, and he was all over the field, and he makes a big difference for our defense. Not just his play, but his energy and his leadership. And he played great. You know, he only took, I think, about 40-something snaps. But it's great to have him back, and like I said, he brings another dimension. Well, you know, what can we say about Malik? I mean, he's two-time All-Conference, was Offensive Player of the Year in 21. He had 130 yards on the ground, and again, tough, hard yards. He's just a great back, and we're lucky to have him. And you know, we didn't mention him, but Jalen Madison also played well. You know, he had 70 yards on the ground and another touchdown for us. So I think that's 3 games and 3 touchdowns for Jalen. So those 3 kids have really played well for us, and kind of the guys right now that we're leaning on in terms of each week and looking for big things from them.
Absolutely, and these are all players that are stepping up. Another player that's stepping up is Andrew Rizik, who's a graduate kicker, and he had 2 punts that landed inside the 2-yard line. What could you say about him?
Well, people sometimes take special teams for granted. Obviously, that's a huge weapon for us. Andrew did a great job for us last year as well as his first year in the program. This is his second year. I think he had a long of 55 yards the other day, and anytime you got a weapon like that can flip the field or pin another offense inside the 10-yard line, it's outstanding. He had 2 inside the 5, so that's a huge weapon, and we got to use that to our advantage going forward, and hopefully he can continue that.
Speaking of going forward, you guys have St. Francis this Saturday, and that's going to be a competitive game. And I know you said you want to minus your turnovers and your penalties and have all of your players play at the same level. So how is the focus shifted to St. Francis this week?
So we talked about it that, you know, you got to take one game at a time and don't look ahead. And obviously St. Francis was picked to, you know, win the conference this year. They won it last year. We've had some pretty good battles with them over the years. They're very talented. They're a talented football team. Chris does a great job with them. He gets the most out of them. They play hard. They're going to be physical. And our focus has got to be able to come in and play 60 minutes of Sacred Heart football and put it all together. Like I said to the guys today earlier, we're not a bad football team. We're just not playing well right now. And we sputter at times, and we're not playing as a cohesive team. And our goal this week is to play as a cohesive team and try and get all 3 phases of the game playing as hard as they can for 60 minutes and not a half or not a quarter. And I understand there's going to be times where you're not clicking on either side of the ball, but if you can play 60 minutes of tough, hard-nosed football and get everybody moving in the right direction and playing hard, you got a good chance of winning. But, you know, we'll get our work cut out for us, and it's up to the kids to have a great week of practice, and going down to St. Francis on the road is going to be a tough place to play, but we'll be up for the challenge. And, you know, we said adversity hits, and right now we're in the middle of it. We want to see what we're made of.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good luck to you guys. Safe travels this week. You're on the road this week, but then back home next week, which is great. So good luck to you guys. This concludes another episode of Inside the Huddle alongside Mark Nofri. I'm Molly Jacob. We'll see you next week.